What's going on, folks? He is I and I am him. I am your host, Lex Black, and I'd like to welcome you to my show, Mmidnight Arcade. I wrote this episode about an hour ago. What's going on, guys? As I said before, my name is Lex Black. I am your host of my show, Mmidnight Arcade. Make sure before you even breathe or blink or feel or do anything, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell icon to be notified for whenever I drop that new heat. You heard? Yes, sir. So today, we're going to be talking about some stuff. We got a double header, all right? Of course, Mmidnight Arcade wouldn't be Mmidnight Arcade without reviewing our bread and butter. Yes, sir, you guessed it. We're going to be reviewing Boruto Chapter 70, all right? But also, I wanted to add something new, okay? So I'm sure there are those who, let's face it, my show is called Mmidnight Arcade, and I bet you there are those who are wondering like, oh, it's called Mmidnight Arcade and you don't even really talk about video games. Yeah, I know. I'm working on it, all right? And I'm actually gonna be true to my word starting today. Today is a double header because in addition to talking about Boruto Chapter 70, we're gonna be talking about this really cool game that I came across about a month ago on Twitter, and it was called Enenra, right? And it was developed almost exclusively by a developer named Zahid Jeelani. Now, forgive me, Zahid, if I messed up your name in any way, shape, or form. Be sure to hit me up in the comments or email me, hit me up on Twitter, whatever you need to correct me, all right? So I apologize if I butchered your name. But either way, he has a really cool game called Enenra, and I just wanted to highlight that. We could talk about all the kind of video games, from the classics to the metaverse and everything in between, but I wanted to focus on the video games that are developed by indie developers because I'm very big on those who are self-automated, self-motivated, ready to go and build this stuff. I'm really in favor of people who are trying to put their best foot forward without waiting for anybody's validation, so on and so forth. So I really respect the indie game developers, and that's why I wanted to highlight this guy, but we're going to get to it right after we talk about Boruto, so here we go. What can I say about Chapter 70, though? Pretty underwhelmed. Yeah. Nothing really over the top or unsurprising happened in this chapter, right? Shikamaru seemed to pique the interest of Ada, and it seemed like she was seriously considering coming to their side, right? But plot holes be damned, the writers will not let that happen, right? So anyway, the big dogs, aka Naruto and Sasuke,
along with Boruto,
are on the way, quite literally almost on the other side of the door, looking for all thy smoketh, correct? Cody Boy was getting nervous because he was watching the exchange going on between Shikamaru and Ada, and the thing is, as dumb as he is, he was at least smart enough to have some backup plans, or at least be thinking about some of the backup plans. Get out of Dodge when shit inevitably hit the fan, right? He was also still pulling a full-time jack move with his claw all up in Amado's shoulder piece. We can't forget about that, right? Telepathically now, Shikamaru was telling Amado to hang on and that he's working on a plan to turn this around in their favor. And Amado is basically telling Shikamaru like, bro, I'm not built like y'all. I'm soft as shit when it comes to this stuff. I can't do it, blah, blah, right? Meanwhile, the medical girl, whose name I always forget, forgive me guys, correct me in the comment section as always, right? She's chilling with Kawaki in the hospital room as she expresses a lot of her doubts about the information that she's been fed via Amado, Naruto, and just about everyone around her regarding the situation about Boruto getting his shit rocked by Kawaki a few chapters back, and rightfully so. She's asking all the right questions, right? Kawaki at this point has zero patience, and he pretty much decides that he wants to provide Code and Ada with the loveliest of knuckle sandwiches, and he proceeds to shrink a la Ishiki style, right? And he runs through the vents to sink his teeth into his prey as his loyal devotion to Naruto compels him forward. That is his main and only motivation. I've been saying this for chapters, and guys, I mean, everybody can tell when whoever reads this knows that the reason why Kawaki is a good guy is because of his devotion to Naruto. Naruto appealed to his humanity, and he doesn't want to let go of the bond that Naruto created for him. Meanwhile, Shikamaru learns of Ada's dojutsu / ability of surveillance and whatnot. And through her ability, she finds out, and correct me if I'm wrong, guys, I literally wrote this episode an hour ago. Okay. But somehow, some way, they find out that Kawaki's on the way for that ass. And no, it ain't like that. You understand? It's not like that. He wants to inflict punishment and pain on Naruto's enemies. Plain and simple. The talks between Ada and Shikamaru as a result, which have been going pretty well up until this point, all things considered, they start to break down due to her panic at Kawaki coming. She, for whatever reason, does not want him to see her having hemmed up some of Konoha's top brass, right? That wouldn't be a good look if you're trying to make peace, you know what I mean? So she decides, look, man, it's time to go. Delta computer having ass, head ass, still being aroused by Ada is always gonna mystify me. I don't understand that. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't get it. I just don't get it. And she's blushing and she gives Ada a very thirsty and lusty goodbye, right? Completely forgoes her duty to protect Konoha, right? And just when you think they're about to leave peacefully, Cody Boy is like, nah, son, and decides to kidnap Amado, and nobody can do anything about it. Meanwhile, Naruto's on the other side of the door. Shikamaru is pleading with Naruto not to bust the door down because it's brand new and so on and so forth. That's some bullshit. That's just bad writing. I'm gonna be railing against these writers, man. See, knuckle sandwich for y'all. Now they're back at their hideout. Code gets Amado to release his limiters, and poof, after a big poof, he gets like these weirdo eyelashes and eyebrows. And as a result of his upgrade, he remarks something to the effect of him feeling like he can take on anybody, the world, whatever, want. You know the vibes, right? That's basically the chapter. I'm sure I left out a lot of details, guys. As I said, I wrote this episode an hour ago. Okay. Nah, but for real. What do I feel about the direction of all this? What do I want to happen? Well, don't get me started on that. I've only been saying it for the past 2 seasons of Midnight Arcade, but can the writers just like, I don't know, erase Boruto from canon? Can this all be some sort of like super duper pseudo canonical genjutsu or something like that, right? When that genjutsu is dispelled, we find a Jonin Naruto waking up in the ramen shop remarking about the craziest dream that he had. And meanwhile, as he wakes up from this, right, he still has Kurama, he still has KCM mode, he still has all of his jutsus. Kurama's not dead, the OG's still alive, you heard me? And we get to see some of the other cool adventures of his and his OG crew leading up to some of the other cool alternate reality stories within the Naruto verse that doesn't include the creation of the cheap knockoff Boruto. Can we get that? Nah. Alright. It was worth a shot, right? Anyway, switching gears here, I wanted to highlight this dope ass game, as I mentioned earlier on, in development called Enenra that I stumbled across on Twitter one day just randomly about a month ago. It literally had a bunch of things that I truly enjoy in like one sitting. You know, it had cyberpunk settings / dystopian, right? There's ninjas, high tech, you know, it's hack and slash, it's an action role-playing game, it's all this amazing stuff. This game was developed by a gentleman by the name of Zahid Jeelani out of the UK. Shout out to you, bro. You're doing some great work, man. I have to give it up. You're doing great work. When I first saw the gameplay mechanics, I was instantly drawn in, right? I wanted to know more, so I did some light research, okay? And I wanted to see what came up about the game. And I came across an interview he did with Indie Bloom. And here's a little bit of what he had to say regarding the beginnings of the game. Now, I'm just paraphrasing here. I'm not doing it verbatim, word for word, right? But Enenra, as it stated, began after he graduated from university and he was looking for a job within the games industry, but was sadly met with a lot of rejections. It's a competitive field, right? But instead of succumbing to defeat, however, Zahid didn't give up and he decided to make a new project. And he intelligently sought out the counsel of friends and trusted ones and other developers to see what kind of games they might have liked to see being made that isn't in the mainstream or whatever have you. So after absorbing this feedback, he decided to make the game Enenra, which he had formerly titled it Tempest, per his words. And it's an action role-playing game with heavy hack and slash drip infused into the gameplay. And the result, guys, is staggeringly brilliant. Just from the eye test, it's beautiful, in my personal opinion. Some of the inspiration for the game, per what he said, drew heavily from the coveted Netflix series Arcane, which I also covered in my show Midnight Arcade on episode 7 of season 1, and super cool films such as The Raid. To be honest, guys, though, let me get to the nitty-gritty of how I feel about it, right? What really got me was a particular sequence of airborne combos I saw on one of the trailers that I was looking at, and it looked like a variation of Cloud Strife's Omni Slash 2.0 from Final Fantasy VII Advent Children. And as many of you may or may not know, Final Fantasy VII holds a very special place in my heart. Eternally so, because of its greatness. Yes, it's that serious. So when I saw that and I instantly thought Omnilash, I thought Cloud Strife, I thought, wow, this is really, really cool. My interest was piqued. One of the coolest features of the game, though, was this teleport traversal system, which operates as sort of a Minato Namikaze / Noctis Lucas Calum warp strike / flying thunder god type of move that allows the character to warp at light speeds from one designated point to another in an instant, right? And you couple this with the incredibly fast and extremely satisfying combat mechanics and incredible graphics, and we could be on the precipice of a very, very, very classic game coming our way, guys. Speaking of that, as far as platforms go for the game, Zahid did say that he wanted to eventually optimize the game for all the next-gen consoles, which would be really cool. And honestly, it's not too far-fetched of a thing, considering that he used the Unreal Engine to develop the game. As for right now, though, per him and on his website, link in the description, it's only available for updated playable demos on Windows. I'm a Mac user. Anyway, still good to watch the videos and the trailers. They're all on YouTube and all on his feed and stuff like that on Twitter. Make sure you guys check it out, man. Either way, the developer is hard at work constantly providing updates for new developments in the game that you guys should definitely check out when you can. And be sure to follow him on Twitter at Enenra Game. And be sure to check out the website in the link below right there and in the description. Other than that, guys, this is a quick episode. I do apologize for my mini hiatuses in between episodes. As I said in episode 16, I am a one-man show. You understand? I am a one-man show. I do all of the work. I don't really have help. So sometimes it gets hard for me to stay at the breakneck pace that I was doing, but I'm still here and I'm going to keep putting out these videos. We are in season 2. This is episode 17 of Mmidnight Arcade. I'm thankful that you guys came out to check me out. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell icon to be notified for whenever I drop that new heat. You heard? Yes, sir. Until next time.